Hi girls, welcome to the new video that we have created as part of Hattigen Group. This video is about the data science complete course, which includes machine learning and Python. So let me just give you a peep into this program as what we are planning to cover. Right. So first of all, I would like to thank you for joining today's session where you want to understand why should I be learning this course? What is data science? What is machine learning? I know my friends are talking about it, but I am not an IT professional, or I am from sales, or I am an IT professional, but I'm a fresher. There might be thousands of thoughts which come to your mind, and hence we are here to answer your questions. Go through this presentation till the end so that you get an idea of whether this is for you or not. But let me tell you, this is going to be a really funful exercise if you join the program, right? So whenever we talk about data scientist, what is the first thought? If your friend told that, okay, tell me, Ram, what is this? What is data scientist? So you might first think that, okay, data means the lot of data that we are thinking about. We have graphs, we have newspapers, we have articles, we have surveys, we have a lot of data that is available. The first thought which comes to our mind is lots of Excel sheets, lots of files, and so on, right? But then scientists, we immediately think about a person who's sitting in the laboratory and working on some chemicals, and he's trying to do some sort of invention. So how is these two things coming together, right? So what is data scientist? I'm not able to visualize. You might have that thought. So here we are to answer that question. So yes, data scientist is definitely concerned about data, but you're called scientist not because you're going to work in laboratories relating to chemicals, but you're going to work in labs which are relating to data. Why? Why? Because data science is a new science. When we talk about science, right, we say that is it an art or a science? So obviously we data scientists are people who are going to work on a lot of data. They're going to do a lot of analysis, they are going to do programming, they're going to solve the real world problem. And in today's world, there is a lot of data that is available, and there are many big problems also which are there, but the beauty is that we don't know what is the problem. So the role of a data scientist is to solve the problem based on the insights he or she gets from the data, right? In olden days, what would happen is, suppose if the sales would go down or if the cost is going up, what would the stakeholder or the owner of the business do is he would run to the people in the quality department, or he would run to his projects team or the important core team of his organization and tell that, boss, let's all get onto a project. Our costs are going up. Let's reduce the cost. Our revenues are going down, our sales are going down, let's do something to increase the sales. And they were just going more on basis of intuitions. But in today's environment where the competition is so high, now with coming of COVID, there is a lot of opportunities which have come up for the startups. You don't know which startup is going to kill which of the biggest industry available in the market, right? If you know the concept of Kodak effect and Nokia effect, you might be really understanding that they did not look into the data when it was time for them to look into it. So what a data scientist does is that they look into the data on a proactive basis. Data science is not reactive science, it is a predictive science, right? So that is the place where you as a data scientist are going to create a difference in the organization where you're going to work. A data scientist will look into the data more from a science, right? Why do I call this as a science, or why do people call this as a science, is because there is a structure, there's a methodology that we follow. And when you follow that methodology and you take insights, like a scientist, you have an inquisitive mindset to explore something new. I know nobody realized that the costs are going up, but basis this data, I am able to identify that our costs are going up. And if this goes on, we then go ahead and apply various algorithms and models which are available to us to predict what is possible, right? And we give them an alert to our stakeholders that, boss, you know that you're not aware that our costs are going up, but I, the data scientist of your organization, is telling you that be prepared. Otherwise, in 2022, we are in 2020 now, but in 2 years, we might not exist. Or if we make this small change today, in 2022 or in 2021, in 1 year from today, we might be rock stars in our field, right? So that is the reason why we are data scientist is such an important role, and it comes with so much of knowledge, and it's going to be very creative and a very exciting role to work for. So let's go further, right? So let me introduce myself. So I'm Dimple Sangvi, and I'm a corporate trainer, mentor, and a management consultant. I come with more than 19 years of experience, and I'm going to be your trainer over here. The reason you're going to have fun with me is that I have worked with some of the biggest companies and organizations in the world. I have traveled across the globe except for South Africa, and I have done projects by sitting at the client office. So that expertise is what you will get firsthand. I'm not going to speak more about myself. You can follow me on LinkedIn, right? Now, I want to become a data scientist is your next question. But how can I become? So here are the basic prerequisite. If you go to Google, you will feel that I can never become a data scientist because Google will give you lots of prerequisites or requirements which make you feel that, okay, I'm still not capable of it. But I will make your life simple, and I made it very clear over here. You need to have a basic understanding of algorithms, right? So for example, if I tell you LIFO is last in, first out, I would ask you to visualize yourself going to a banquet hall in the hotel for your food, right? So you have gone for a nice lunch, or you are attending somebody's wedding and you're going to the dinner counter. You find a lot of plates laid down over there, right? So when the person laid the plates, the caterer, he was keeping all the plates. He kept plates one above the other, right? But when you go to pick the plate, which plate do you pick the first? The one on the top, right? So that was the plate which the caterer kept at the last, but it get picked up first. So that is last in and first out. So I am going to explain all the concept in the most visualized and the most simplest way, instead of telling you that, okay, this is how the algorithm works. I would want you to have that basic understanding of algorithm, and if not, we would be doing it as part of this course. There would be one more request is that you should have a logical mind. We might be asking you to do some bit of arithmetic and logical, qualitative, analytic type of questions. You might feel that, okay, I want to become a scientist, but you should definitely have a logical mind, because your logical mind will help you drive the insights from the data. I will show you two graphs. How do you interpret both the graphs? How do you find what is the difference? I will hide the names of the company and ask you to tell me what is the difference between both these two graphs. What is the data telling you? What is the graph telling you? For that, you need to have a basic of some logical mind, right? You should be having a willingness to learn and practice, because if you're going to come and attend only this course, you're not going to learn anything. You have to go back and invest equal or more amount of time to practice whatever is taught in the class, right? You should have very good verbal and visual communication skills. Why? Because you have done a beautiful insight. You have done a very beautiful analysis based on the data that has been given to you, but you're not able to communicate that to your stakeholder. What happens? You would be in a position to save your company, but you could not because you have not communicated that properly. So we are not talking only about algorithms, coding, and so on. We are also talking about your holistic development. And that is important because that's the key trait when we talk about data scientists. Let's take an example, right? You all have seen the movie of Titanic. There was a person from that team. If you have seen the movie also, there is one scene over there, you can go back and watch that. He goes and tells to the captain of the ship that there are not enough rescue ships or the small boats which, in case of a devastation, these will help us. We have not carried enough tubes. But the way he communicated was not impressive enough, and then people just ignore him. And we all know rest all is a history, right? So that is why having a good communication skill is very important. You should always be working in teams because you have to ensure that you are leveraging each other's skill. That is also an important skill that you. So if you, I'm telling you all these things so that you can introspect that, do I have this ability? or can I build this ability? Or you can reach out to us and tell that, okay, I'm good with my logical mind, but Hatijan team, can you help me in developing me holistically as a data scientist, right? You should be interested in collecting and analyzing data. Yeah, that's the most important thing. That if you feel that numbers is not something that I want to work with, then data science is not the field for you. But having said that, understand one thing: numbers are everywhere. If you're not working anywhere at all, even if you are a housewife, you are working with numbers, because there is a money which somebody is giving you to manage the house. You're managing that budget. You're planning to save. You're planning all your expenses, right? So you are actually dealing with numbers, but you should develop that inquisitiveness, that how do I analyze these numbers to give some good insights, right? And you should have a good problem solving skills. And these are all skills which can be acquired. These are not skills which somebody is born with, right? These are all acquired skills. So somebody can obviously put effort and learn them. So it's very simple, right? You don't have to be a scientist, or you don't have to be a PhD to become a data scientist. If you are a PhD in mathematics and statistics, wonderful. You are almost there, right? But these are the skills which you can definitely develop. Now, having said that, right? So when we talk about data science, people would be talking about data process, statistics, machine learning, visualization, data mining. All these things are all the hard skills, right? So which we will definitely be covering when we are covering this program. What is more important are the ones blocks that I have highlighted in red. You have to know good communication skills. Why am I repeating this? Is because I want you to understand that these, for you to become an all-round data scientist, you need to have speaking skills, good communication skills. You should be creative in your solutions, because if you're going to give standard solutions, then how are you different, right? Coding, real world problem solving. So you should be a person who, if you're creative, then learning the statistics part or learning the coding part is just going to be a cakewalk for you, right? So let's go further. Now you might be thinking that what is AI, what is machine learning, what is data science? I'm actually getting confused. So I have tried to simplify this using a small Venn diagram, right? So when we talk about artificial intelligence, we actually are talking about machines which we want them to behave like human beings. For example, you are talking to Alexa, you're talking to Siri on your iPhone, right? These are all examples of AI, artificial intelligence, right? So what is happening is you are asking the question, "Hi Alexa, how is the weather today?" And you get back a response, right? What is happening is we are asking it to read understand speech, recognize the question, and from its database, it will try to find the answer and speak it back to you. And you actually feel that there is a human being speaking to you, but it's not that. There is a database, there's a big database of all the questions and all the answers what it is supposed to give, right? If you go, just try it out. You go and tell Alexa or Siri you are an idiot, and you see what a wonderful response they will give you back. It's trying to be humorous, but at the end of the day, it's a machine, and it's a machine which is able to think like a human being. Now, that is the major part, right? Within artificial intelligence, there is a part called as machine learning, where the focus is more on use of statistical tool, algorithms, where we talk about supervised machine learning, unsupervised machine learning. So have you seen, when you go to Netflix, you watch a movie, when you are almost at the end of the movie, you see some recommended movies for you. How is this recommendation coming up? So that is where machine learning plays a role. And today, honestly, Netflix is making a lot of revenue based on this recommendation. And we will be covering that what type of algorithms it is going to use. And we will also do some recommendation engine algorithms and all as part of our course. Then you see a data science and you see that this Venn diagram, this curve ball is actually a little bit in on the artificial intelligence, a little bit on machine learning, and a major piece outside. Why? Because it is going to cover some bit of AI, it is going to cover machine learning, but it is going to have all the skills which I just mentioned. That is that we are going to have creative skills, we are going to have good communication skills, good presentation skills, storytelling, and all those things, which makes you a data scientist, right? So you're gaining insights from the data in order for you to give insights to the organization to make it more profitable. Yeah, right. So coming back to the question, right? So you have heard your friends talk about artificial intelligence, machine learning, and data science, and you feel that I'm actually getting confused as to what are these, right? Are they same? Are they different? I am not understanding. So I'm trying to simplify it. I've just put up a small Venn diagram over here to make you understand what is it, right? So when we talk about artificial intelligence, we are actually asking the machines to think like human beings. So have you heard about Alexa? You would be working and saying that, Alexa, you would be working with Siri on your iPhone, or you might be saying, hey, Google, and then you might be putting up your question. And when you say that, hi, Alexa, tell me how is the weather today, the Alexa comes back with a pleasant reply. And sometimes you say, Alexa, I'm not feeling well, and Alexa will try to speak back to you in a very human like language. You might sometimes feel that there is actually a girl sitting on the other side responding to you, but it's not so. Alexa is actually a artificial intelligence program where, or let's talk about Google, hey Google, or we are talking about Siri. They actually sit on a database with a lot of questions and the corresponding answers. So when you say a question telling that how is the weather today, it will immediately go pick up your GPS and understand that, okay, maybe in your area there is rainfall. So yeah, it's raining outside. And then it will tell you, it will form that sentence, but they are actually reading the answers from the database, and you feel that there is a human interaction that you are having, right? So sometimes you can just play with Alexa and you can ask them some stupid questions telling that, Alexa, I feel that you are an idiot, and you see how funny response they give. This is actually based on a lot of question and answer. There are people who are asking them questions. When they respond them good, those answers get registered in the database. Now coming to machine learning. Machine learning is actually a subset of artificial intelligence, because it is it is definitely AI. It covers, means it is inside AI, because it is, we are actually asking the machine to run the algorithm for us. And these are different types of algorithms, like supervised machine learning algorithm, unsupervised machine learning algorithm, reinforcement machine learning algorithm. You would be for example, nowadays you have started learning to play chess on the phone, and you see on the opposite side there's not a human being, but that's the machine which is playing with you. When you're playing some of the video games, you actually see that the machine is playing with you, right? So that is nothing but reinforcement machine learning. If you would be watching Netflix, we are all in lockdown and we are busy watching a lot of series and so on. When you watch a movie, at the end of the movie you get recommended for you. Netflix is actually making a lot of money based on this recommendation, and that recommendation is coming from one of the machine learning algorithm which Netflix is sitting on. We would be covering that as part of our program. What happens is that it is taking various parameters, and then based on that parameters, it is recommending few movies, and you find that the recommendation is very close to your liking, because whenever you watch a movie it will ask you that please click on the like button if you like the movie, and click unlike or do not recommend, because that is how the machine is constantly learning and understanding that what is your taste, and based on that your recommendation is becoming more and more towards your taste, right? The third and the red ball which you see over there is about data science, and you see that it's little bit inside of AI and machine learning, but there's a lot of part which is outside. Why? Because a data scientist should know how AI works, should know how machine learning works, should understand the various algorithms. But a data scientist is also expected to be creative, communication should be great, real life problem solving ability. So whatever we discussed before few minutes are all the qualities which a data scientist should know, apart from knowing machine learning and basics of AI, right? So that's how I hope you have understood the difference between AI, machine learning, and data science. We take it further. So why should I learn data science, right? Okay, Dimple just explained me that, okay, data science is about science and there's a methodology. I should be creative, I should have good communication skills and so on. But this is the most in demand job of 21st century. It's not because I am telling, but it is what I will just take you to the website. So this is Harvard Business Review, and they have said that data scientist is the most sexiest job of 21st century. You can actually go and read this full article about why it's the most happening field. Apart from that, you can go to LinkedIn, you can go to Indeed, Glassdoor, and see that what are the people talking about when they talk about data scientist as a role and job, right? There is another article which says that what does a data scientist really do? If you are interested, you can obviously read this article as well, and you can actually find it on the next slide over here, right? So let me come back to my presentation, right? So obviously it is the hottest job of 21st century, and that's why we have to adopt as per the change. Today, if you're going to tell that I'm going to learn something, I want to become a marketing manager, or I'm going to become if a bank manager, or I want to become an investment banker, these jobs were a lucrative jobs at one point of time, but no longer so, right? Because machine is actually taking over that role. Now we are talking more about digital marketing, we are talking about algo trades and so on. So now you don't need an investment banker or a broker to do your trades. You actually have a machine who does the algo trade, right? So it's all about solving real world problems, and you are actually going to leverage the machine to do it. And that's the reason you have adopted yourself to the change that the market is requiring. Now, this is another part where which gives you a simple idea of what is the data science, and this is based on a white paper which was published, right? So it gives you a very clear understanding that yes, I need to know a little bit of computers, I need to know some bit of maths and statistics, I need to be a business domain business expertise to cover all the things that are required in data science. Now let's dive a little more deeper into, I'm not going to cover this because I want you to read the article to understand what does a data scientist do. That would be a small homework which I want to give it to you guys, right? Because that will, when you are interested on a topic, I know that you will flare really well. Now, this is David Dohano, who is the one who has actually, he's a statistician, a mathematician in the university, and he had written the white paper or 50 years of data science. That's also available on Google. And it's that is the place from where we are no longer call ourselves as a statistician or a mathematician, but he coined the term as a data science and data scientist. And he says that you are actually working and listed down what are the 6 things we are going to do as part of a data science project, right? Let me give you a small brief. We talk about the stage one, that is data exploration and preparation. So whenever we get data, what are we going to do with the data? We are going to explore. When we say data exploration, we are actually talking about visual effects. We are going to see what are the columns we have, what type of data did we get, how much of data is clean, how much of data is unclean, what are the missing values, and we prepare that data to be usable format, right? Sometimes you get, somebody will give you a dump of CSV files, somebody will give you a dump of Excel files, somebody will give you some SQL query dumps and say that, okay, this is the data, understand it. So we have to, when we get the data, how do we make the data prepare so that we can continue with our data science journey? Stage two would be data representation and transformation. So sometimes we might want to transform the data. So that will become part of feature engineering, which we would be covering as a part of our program, where we would identify what features or what uh, part of the data we are going to use and explore further, and what part of the data is useless and we is not going to add any value to our analysis. We are going to do computing on data, data modeling. We are going to work on various types of data models or algorithms, create our data visualization and presentation, because you have done the analysis, you know that this is a great model, but at the end you want to recommend it back to the organization for whom you are working, right? Telling that, okay, I did this machine learning algorithm, I did a regression analysis. Making these changes is going to make your world much better. Our costs are going to come down, our revenues are going to increase, and so on and so forth, right? So those things will all be covered as part of this program. right? So we would be covering basics of Python because Python is a programming language that we are going to use over here. I in fact got some questions from some of my friends telling that, do I need to become an SQL programmer? Do I need to know SQL very well? I would say no, because Python comes with a concept called as pandas, which is for data frames. SQL is also for data frames, right? So you don't have to learn both. If you know Python, and we are going to cover pandas also as part of the programming, the program, you will understand how to extract the data, how to interpret the data, how to run queries and so on the data using Python itself. And hence we feel that you don't have to confuse yourself with too many things, right? You know one thing and know it really well. So we are going to start with basics of Python. If you know Python, we are going to, this is going to be really easy for you. And if you don't know, we are going to make it very easy for you, right? So we are going to start from basics like Python data types, control statements, loops, functions, and classes. We are going to cover that part of the Python programming, which is important for machine learning, AI, and DS. Because even if you're going to do a separate program somewhere else, means as part of AI with Hatigen, you the basics of Python are already covered over here. The most important part, statistics and probability. I know as a kid I was very scared of mathematics, right? But having said that, what I was scared of, I actually made it as my strength. So I'm going to explain you about statistics and probability in a very simple and a easy to understand way. And we are going to cover regressions, we are going to talk about probability, probability distribution, and all those things, because they are going to play a very important role when we are working on the machine learning algorithm. You as a data scientist should know how the statistics and the probability theory work, because then only you are going to help do proper interpretation or draw proper insights, right? So we would be doing this. When you are learning it, it will be all you would actually feel that it's going in a very play way method, so that you will learn the concept, you will learn how to apply the concept and take it further from there, right? So data science, as I showed you in the Venn diagram, it also covers machine learning. So we are going to cover machine learning also as part of this program, where we are going to talk about data preparation, supervised machine learning, algorithm, regression models, classification models, feature engineering, unsupervised learning algorithms, time series model, and so on, right? Recommender system, that lesson 11, which I just spoke about, the Netflix, or even if you think about Amazon, right? When you go to Amazon and you do some shopping, you add it to the cart, you immediately find we recommend you to buy, somebody also bought this when they bought this item. So it is, then you end up buying two items or three items, because the machine over there is recommending you to buy something else, right? And there is actually a machine learning algorithm. There's no person who is sitting there and watching you what you're adding to the cart, but it's an algorithm which is working. So we would be covering that as well, right? In detail is what I've showed you over here, where we'll be covering simple regression model, multiple regression models, support vector machine, decision tree, random forest. These are the terms which you would be hearing whenever you're talking to your friends. They would say that I'm doing KNN, I'm doing hierarchical clustering, I'm doing random forest, and you would be thinking, what are these jargons? Don't worry, we will be covering all of it as part of our program, right? Apart from that, so this is what all we will be covering from our end. But what's important is that we should constantly check how you are performing. So we would be conducting weekly assignments on based on what we have covered, so that we can help you, we can understand, okay, what have you understood and where are you lacking behind, so that we can help you come up that curve, right? We would be giving you some assessments, exams, I mean, we would be giving you some exercises and assessments to work on, so that you can actually learn the things and become perfect. We would be doing a live project based on real world data, and we would also be giving a recommendation to them and see the results, that have your recommendations worked or not. Hatigen also helps you with the job assistance come assurance program. Let me be very honest, we do job assurance, but we want 100% commitment from your end in terms of your performance. We help you with interview preparation, we will do mock interviews and all these things to help you face the real life uh, interviews with confidence and win the job. Again, coming back, do you have basic reading and writing skills? Do you have attention to details? And can you spot the difference? If these are the skills which you have, then this program is going to be really funful for you. I will quickly take you to the website that Hatigen has. So you can follow us on LinkedIn. So on LinkedIn, we are Hatigen IT Services, and we are a Hyderabad-based company from India. If when you click on contact us, it takes you to our website, which can very clearly you can see that what type of solutions do we provide, right? So what are the different types of other training programs that we have, and you can obviously it's taking me to that page. Yeah, so you can reach out to us to understand how each of these programs help you, right? So you can just contact us through the WhatsApp button over here, or talk to our Alexa, which is a machine learning algorithm that we have put over here, and upskill yourself, right? So we are not only talking about data science, but there are many other programs which Hatigen offers. We also have our Facebook page, which you can follow. We have our Instagram page, where we constantly update what's happening new and some insights relating to the program. And we have our YouTube channel where we constantly upload certain short duration videos, right? So it's good that you follow us and learn from us, and looking forward to working with you all. Have a great day. Thank you.